you need your guru to be free from culture. You need your guru to be free in order to have any chance to liberate you. So gurus that get caught in any algorithm, be it the YouTube algorithm, be it the money algorithm, be it the power algorithm, be it whatever framework that requires you to adapt to it in order for there to be a certain outcome. As long as they're caught in those frameworks, they cannot liberate you. And so you could say that any guru that is worth anything to you is a radical guru. And it should always be about breaking out of current frameworks, current ideas, current things that have influence over the guru or others. The funny thing is, that guru will probably get not so much attention because people don't want that. People don't want radical. The culture doesn't want radical, certainly not, unless it's culture ordained radicalism, which isn't radical at all, or it's, unwanted, undesirable. It's going against the culture. And people have been taught by the culture what they want and need, and their need for freedom, fame, fortune, success, happiness, all these things are cultural ideas. Not only have they been put there by culture, but what they mean is put there by culture, right? It's double speak. Freedom doesn't mean freedom. It means being free. You're within the constraints of culture, but on certain areas I get to do things that most people don't. That makes me free. But as long as the concept of freedom is determined by someone else, you're a captive to that someone else. Anyway, so the point I was trying to make is that you need to have a guru, if you're going to have a guru, that is free from everything, in order for him to teach you how to be free from stuff yourself. Now, if you look at the gurus, right, the financial gurus or the social media gurus that teach you how to be successful on YouTube, they're not free of the context they're acting within, right? And that's logical. They've chosen a certain context and said, okay, within this context, I'm going to be free. He still needs to be free, or she, within that context beyond that is the context, right? You could say the master, which is somewhat like the guru, is free. That has been his journey from being captivated by the subject to being enslaved to the subject in order to follow its rules, to become a practitioner of that subject, to being able to be that, to be valid within the eyes of the subject, to be a practitioner of the subject, and to move past that and make it submissive to his self-expression, to his self-creation, where the first directive, the primal directive of the master is always to be free, to be as little constrained as possible. Himself, as in, he does not want to block or create friction in the creation, in his craft, but also be free from its formal requirements. Because that's really what the master is doing, seeing how far he can push in order to free himself and get out of the way, and in order to free himself and the craft from the past of the craft, from the requirements of the craft, from the rules and right? He's trying to break the law. He's trying to figure out what the real law is. He's saying, current ideas about creation in my craft are seen as the laws, but we don't know if they are the laws, so I have to break those laws. And if I'm successful, and what comes out is still good or even better than what it used to be, it's new, and thus, in a way, always better. It's creative, it's radical. But if it's radical but still valid, then I've expanded the craft, I've expanded myself, I've self-created something myself. And that is what the artist is striving to do, to break out of himself by getting out of the way, and to break out of his craft by going deeper into it. And that dance is what you're talking about. So in order for you to follow anyone, you need to follow someone who's free from the constraints that are still playing with in your reality, in your applying of the craft. Whatever craft that could be, right? But that's the essence. You need to find someone, and the only thing you have to pay attention to and realize and figure out is if that person that you will take as your teacher is free from the things that shackle you and is able to teach that to you. And apart from asking it about the guru, you need to ask about the subject if it's teachable. Is it teachable to achieve the thing you want to achieve? Or is it only doable and it's a unique application in time and space and situation where you're going to have, right? I think a viral video is a nice example. You can't be taught how to make a viral video. The virality of a video is outside of your power to influence. It's determined by the external. The same with success, fame, fortune, all these things, right? You can do things technically well, but the appreciation of an audience is outside of your influence, as in it is in your influence, but outside of your power to determine. So, and that goes for more things, right? I think happiness is a nice one too. If it's about your happiness, then only you can determine what that is, or if it exists, or if it's worth chasing, or if it's possible to achieve it. If it's not, and you're going to adhere to someone else's idea or concept of what happiness is or how to achieve it, I mean, it's going to get messy. So you need to have someone who is free that can only help you to free yourself. That's just all I'm saying. So thanks.